Welcome everybody, my name is Ed Durbis. This is 983 Driving. I'm so glad everybody's tuned in again. Today we're going to do another review. We're out of question. Is the sports badge really a badge, or is it actually really a sports car? And today we're going to test drive this small Honda SUV with the sports badge, all-wheel drive, and find out and get the answer of that exact question. So with further ado, let's get on location and take her out for a drive. Okay, driving the Honda 2018 HR-V Sport all-wheel drive. My question was, it's got a sports badge, and a lot of cars today, they put sports badges on it, just like you see a lot of cars with limited badge on it. But are they, and the limited side, you're basically just saying it's fully loaded. It doesn't mean there's a limit to a limited production. Here what we have is a car with a sports badge, which a lot of the cars do, manufacturers do as well. They put a sports badge or whatever significant other that tells that it's a sporty car. Now, is it really sporty, or is it just a badge with sport accents on the car, bigger wheels, more aerodynamic packages outside of it, just to make it look sporty? So my question is it really sporty, or is it just a badge? And I'm here to test drive this car with the sports badge and find out, and then also I'll review this car and see what my thoughts are about it. So let's get the show on the road and let's get going. All right, I'll put it in sports mode instead of just drive. Let's hit the road. Due to the fact that it does have the all-wheel drive, well, we're starting this test drive on a kind of little gravel road for just, and we're taking it now on the pavement. Let's see what it's what. Let's put her through a pace. Right off the bat, one of the things I have to say is this car suffers from all the other four-cylinder cars out there. And I don't know if you heard that in the video, but it's got a four-cylinder engine producing 151 horsepower and 121 pounds of torque. That is right. In a 2018, a car producing 121 pounds of torque in a four-cylinder engine. What that means is that this car, let's not even talk 0 to 60 numbers, because it's just not fast. And we'll get back to that in a second. The other issue that I've discussed in my earlier video with the 993 Mobile was the transmission, the CVT transmission. This car suffers from the same issue that all other manufacturers out there are going with, and this is the CVT transmission. Like I said before, it's got like a rubber band effect. You're always in one gear. Just it changes ratio between how much power you give it and acceleration. So you hear it whine. It's not because it's not changed to another gear. It's just whining. So that's one other of the beautiful aspects about this 2018 Honda. With that being said, we're out here on a twisty road. We're gonna test the suspension, see if it's actually sporty or not. We're gonna get back into a more curvy part of the road, and then we'll see what she has. One of the things that I do have to say about the car, just off the bat, is it's pretty clear viewing out. But from windshield's pretty. It's got a good angle. The A pillars do not get in the way. The B pillar gets a little bit in the way, but not too bad. But when you start going back, due to it has a more of a coupe kind of appearance to it, it does affect a little bit more of the rear visibility when you're looking to your left or to your right. It does affect it a little bit. Here we're getting into a little bit of a country road, and let's see what it's got, what she can do. I'm really impressed with is that it actually feels very nimble and very agile on its feet. Even though it's got a high central gravity, it still feels kind of sporty, which is one of the things that shocked me the most when I first got into this car, is that it actually does have a little bit of sports to it. On the brake aspect, they're strong. As soon as you tap on the brake, they come on strong. There's no fade. Steering response is quick as well. As soon as you turn it, it turns the direction that you want it to. So those are the good aspects about this car. And so far, I'm pretty impressed with the fact that it does have a little bit of sportiness to it. It's taking the road pretty well, comfortable, nothing dramatic, to say the least. Yeah, so far so good. So far so good. Ergonomically, it's typical Honda. Materials are strong. You do have a little bit of plasticky buttons and whatnot, but I'm not gonna beat it up to death, because overall it is a Honda, and Hondas do have the same kind of quality feel they always do. Good cars. Like I said, it does have a little bit of plastic, hard plastics, but you expect that on a car at this price point. There's a nice cushiony on the armrest. I mean, they're good aspect, but so far I'm very impressed in the way it's handling. It's tall, like I said, high center of gravity, but it's taking the bumps well. You're in this country road, and it's doing its business. It is doing its business. Like I said, the only drawback here is the power. When you look at all the other competitors, they're all basically in the same. They're all in the same pretty much ballpark when it comes to the power. The biggest drawback is that this car is the one in the entire sector with a very huge drop in the percentage of horsepower and torque. You're losing 20 pounds of torque, where the competitors, you're losing some of them, you're losing 5 to 10. Okay, so we tested how it does on pavement, the sports part of it, but let's not forget that this is a mini SUV with all-wheel drive, and let's check and see exactly if it is really a small SUV, or is it just a raced up Honda Civic, or as I would call it, a Civic on stilts. So let's hit the road. Put it on sport again, and let's see, we're on a slight gravel road, country road, and let's see how it handles. No problem whatsoever with the bumps. It feels smooth, quiet. There's a little bit of noise from the tires. If I have to say anything about that'd be nitpicking, would be that the tires are not actually set for this type of road conditions. They're more for pavement. I guess that goes more towards the sport aspect of it, and obviously not driving it on a country road as we are today. very good. It drives smoothly, like I said. We're going to encounter a little bit of, let's say, huge puddles, to say the least. Let's see how that goes. So far, so good. We're coming up to them now. I think that this is a pretty good little package. More to talk about in regards of the engine, the CVT transmission, and all that. But overall, on this small gravel road, or country road, if you want to call it, it is just has managed to just be flawless. To wrap up, I hope you enjoyed this show. A few thoughts that I'd like to share of my experience with the Honda on the drive. I'm very impressed. Sporty, it feels great on a highway, it feels great on country roads, it feels great on curvy roads. My only drawback would be the power. If this had a little more power, then it would be a blast to drive. But due to the fact that it only has 121 pounds of torque and 151 horsepower, it's basically where it's actually coming down on it, and the competitors do have a leg up in that respect. But otherwise, I highly recommend it. Sports bucket seats are great. The suspension works well, the steering works well, the brakes work well, everything works well. I highly do recommend it if you're in the market for a sporty USUV. Your support means the world to me. Please subscribe, notification bell, follow me on Instagram at 9-3 Driving, and I'll post pictures of the vehicles that will be coming ahead of the show on YouTube. Again, thank you so much. I hope everybody has a fantastic day, and I'll catch everybody in the next video. Until then, be safe.